Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you I say Shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. In this video, pretty much going to be talking about the kingdom of heaven, and how that should be on our priority list. That should be in the forefront of our mind, right? Because in this world, it has so many traps, it has so many ways it can deviate you, and pretty much set you off track if you give yourself over, to those thoughts or to those lusts or whatever it may be, desires, you know. Because when we came into this thing, we gave up all those devices, all those thoughts, all those aspirations, that we once had, and we gave all that up to attain Yahushua, attain salvation, attain, the grace written within the scriptures, you know, and ultimately, of course, we understand that all Israel shall be saved, but you gotta understand that the destruction that's coming is going to be, it's just going to be something that, like you read about, like in Sodom and Gomorrah, when all those people were destroyed, and this is something that we don't want to partake in. We're trying to receive salvation. We're trying to receive deliverance. We're trying to be one of those that is, like in the scriptures is written about, those that, overcome and pretty much a part of that righteous lineage. We don't want to be part of a written in a, made like the antagonists in the book, or like those that fail and die, and pretty much are used as an example of what not to be, right? What we do here on this side, is gonna pretty much echo throughout eternity, right? So that's why we got to make our calling of election sure. We got to studies to show ourselves approved. And we got to pretty much make use of our time that we have here. And pretty much this is just admonishment to brothers to continue pushing. Continue to keep your eye on the prize. As they say, keep an eye on the prize, which is the kingdom of heaven. Because we're about to win. We're about to win big time. And seeing that we're coming to a time where it's about to get difficult, we can't faint and we can't falter on what our duties are and what our role here in this earth is supposed to be. When you come into the truth, you know the will of the Father, and that's to serve Him, right? As a matter of fact, let's get this. Let's start off with this. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." So that's our whole, our purpose here in life, as they say. Jake is always looking for his purpose in life. Well, this is your purpose, Jake. Right? To fear the Most High and keep His commandments. Do His will. And His will right now is to, wake up the elect, fear Him, to keep His commandments to the best of your ability, and endure. Right? Keep your faith strong. Build yourself up in the spirit. You see? But and of course, like I mentioned, maintain your peripherals on the kingdom. Or not peripherals, Salakia. Maintain your vision on the kingdom is what I'm trying to say. But let's read this. This is 1 John 2 and verse 15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." You see? And like I mentioned, the world can try to pull you back in. That's really ultimately is Satan. Satan is trying to draw you away from uh, 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 continuing in this walk. Because this walk ain't easy. This walk is even though it might be, the simplicity in this walk. Like there's a not negative, not in a negative sense, but what I mean is it's simple. Like all you gotta do is just abide in Yahweh Shah, but it can be difficult because of the tests and the temptation that comes along with that. But the point being is that the world can try to draw you back. Satan can try to sift you. But what you gotta do is maintain strong in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Don't let the cares of this life and that old man pretty much to come back, and take control. Because it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Look at the world how it is right now. Look at the state that it's in. The culture, the what it has to offer. It's really nothing compared to what the Most High has waiting for us in the kingdom of heaven. Right? And it's all polluted. Micah 2:10. Right? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Why? Because it is polluted, and it says it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction. Everything in this world is tainted, man. Right? Everything has a way to, like, whether it's through your subconscious, or whether it's through just various means. Really, like a lot of stuff can be very subconscious. Because Esau, what he does, he tries to work on your mind through your subconscious and try to manipulate you that way, right? And over time, it starts to wear you down. But this is the reason why you got to abide in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You got to continue to stay in the scriptures, stay locked in, so that way the ways of this world don't try to enchant you, put a spell on you to bring you back, right? But ultimately, as the scriptures say, there's no enchantment against Jacob. Mainly the elect, right? The elect already taken accounted for. They're already, it's already written they're going to attain the victory, right? And Lord willing, but we don't know who the elect are, but Lord willing, we be part of those elect that attain that victory. You see? But reading this back, it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him, right? All these jakes that are still caught up in the world, it's obvious that the love of the Father is not in them, because he hasn't revealed to them the truth that is in the scriptures. And when that truth is revealed unto you, you start to see that the Most High has something better waiting for us. He gives us hope that there's something better instead of this bullshit ass fucking world that Esau has hijacked and manipulated to fit his point of view, or fit his way of living, or how he pretty much wants everybody to live, right? Which is very oppressive, and it's very vexing, because you see, the way you see the pitfalls, you see the snares that Esau has set up, and when you think about trying to raise up a family or trying to have sons and children, you'd be like, man, like it's like you wouldn't want that for your children. You wouldn't want that for any of your loved ones to go through some shit like that. But that's the way the world is. But that's the reason why, brothers and few sisters that are listening to this, we understand that the kingdom of heaven is something that, that we are desperately seeking after, man. We desperately want the kingdom of heaven. Because we understand that there's gonna be peace. We ain't gonna be worried about no pitfalls. At the same time, we're gonna be, perfect. We're gonna be immortal. We're gonna feel no pain, no sorrow. And this world that we live in now is full of pain, sorrow. It's full of traps and snares. It's full of, everything is danger on all sides. This place is called the Valley of the Shadow of Death, right? So Again, but this is why, again, why I'm reiterating the point that we got to keep our eye focused on the prize, and we got to keep our mind focused on attaining the kingdom of heaven. You see? But let me continue reading this. This is 1 John 2 and verse 16. It says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life," right? These are all things that we were once taken a part of. But now that we came into this truth, we're putting that away, man. And it's not just a one day thing, you just wake up and boom, you're going to drop all that. It takes time, practice, right? Training. But it says, and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And all the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. See, so this world is about to pass away here soon, man. So we ain't really even concerned about, even though sometimes we might slip up, but we ain't really even concerned with this world and trying to attain some type of status, some type of clout, whatever it may be that the world has to offer on this side, because this place is about to go out. Here soon come, we're seeing the inevitable fall of Esau, of his kingdom. The signs are all there, man. You see? And knowing that, as a matter of fact, I think that's in the Apocrypha. Since Sirach, if I'm not mistaken. But it's the end is manifest. Oh, it's in Second Ezra 9 and 5. It says, "For like all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." When you go into that word manifest, it means obvious, right? And we're telling you, Jakes, that the end is here. It's obvious that the end is here. Everybody's talking about the end of the world. Everybody's talking about World War III. Everybody's talking about, the mark of the beast, right? All these things pertain to what? And the end times. But we're letting you know that the end is here. And seeing that the end is here, this is going to come in destruction with that. Scriptures talk about the second death. Scriptures also say, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, right? Because the time to be coming into, which is the scriptures called Jacob's trouble, it's going to be a horrible time. And this is why we're constantly out here pushing these videos, going out in the highways and hedges, highways and byways, to push this word, to pretty much admonish our people and to exhort our people to turn back to the Lord. Right? There's nothing left for you here, Jake. There's nothing left. You think Esau has a plan for you 20, 40, 50 years down the line of how he's going to try to, integrate you into the system and set you up in a good place and good position? No, man. This man has no care and has no, pretty much no plan to put you in a position of security. And you see that through what he's doing now with the whole deportation thing. The whole ICE raiding in, coming into your communities and snatching you out. This man's starting to show his true colors. What we've been telling you. This place has never been for you, Jake. Jake wants to find rest here in captivity. Well, the Most High has let you know that this has always been your captivity. This has never been your rest. You see? And it's going to get worse and worse. But this is, let me get this. Hebrews 13 and verse 14. It says, "For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come." Let me read it in the NLT. "For this world is not our permanent home." This era, this eon, right? Let me see what this word, well, I don't think Excuse me. I don't think the NLT is gonna show it. Yeah, because this is just a different translation. But um, it says, "For this world is not our permanent home. We are looking forward to a home yet to come." That's talking about the kingdom of heaven. We're seeing a lot of people starting to get weak, starting to sell out, and take the pretty much the bag, take those crumbs off their master's table, which, like I said, fucking a little bit of money ain't really shit you can really do with that here on this side anyway. And even then, everything is polluted, everything is tainted. Everything always comes at a different cost. You know, but Jake does it anyway. But soon they're about to, like the scripture says, they have their reward. But soon Jake is really about to pay for that reward, man, which is gonna be by through them dying. The price for that is gonna be death. But anyway, um, let's get this. Let's get Luke. Well, as a matter of fact, let me reread this part in First John. John 2 and 7. 1 John 2 and 17. It says, "And the world passeth away, right, and the lust thereof." So everything in this world, everything that we see right now, is all going to be gone. None of this stuff is going to be carried over into the kingdom of heaven. None of it. All the records, all the fame, the glory that people have attained on this side, all this shit is going to be gone. Right? It says, "But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever." You see? You do the will of the Most High, you're going to be taken up in those chariots, transformed, as the scripture says, in the twinkling of an eye, retain those new bodies, and you're going to live forever, man. Imagine that, man. And then we're going to round up the rest of the heathen, put to death all the rebels of our people, and build up the kingdom of heaven. Man. Let me get this. Let's get Matthew 6 and verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness." See, that's what you got to be seeking first. That should be on your priority list. That should be number one on your list. The kingdom of the Most High. Not chasing your career, not trying to find what they call it, financial independence, right? Because even you can try to do your best you can do here on this side, but at the end of the day, the kingdom of heaven has to come first. That's not to say to give up all hope. Fuck your bills, and saying don't work, and not to pay your taxes and all that. No, you got to make your daily bread. You got to make a living. But Jake would use that and take it and go overboard and try to attain financial independence, generational wealth, and all this nonsense. But that was never meant for us to that was never meant for us to do here on this side, right? We're just passing through in this world. You see? And even then, people only live like an average like 80 years, 90 years old, man, if that. So you're gonna work all your life and then die, or pass it on to the next generation. Like, come on, man. In the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna have true generational wealth and more. More than your heart will ever desire, man. That's what's waiting for us. But again, that all comes with a cost. The scriptures talk about how we gotta make our bodies a living sacrifice. Pretty much, we gotta forsake everything that we have here on this earth. That doesn't mean you to hate everything and pretty much to hate your family and pretty much abandon everything. But again, the kingdom of heaven and this truth comes first. And if anything gets in this path, gets in this way, and is in conflict to this, to pretty much to attaining the kingdom of heaven, you gotta cut that off, right? The scriptures talk about if your, left hand offend thee, to cut it off, or if your right hand offend thee, cut it off, or if your right eye or left eye offend thee, pluck it out. It's not a literal you cutting off your eye or plucking out your eye or cutting off your arm. It's talking about, removing some things. Sometimes you gotta cut off certain people from your life because they're interfering with your path and your goal of attaining the kingdom of heaven. You see? But now, let's get this. And I'm going to close it up with this. I don't want to take too much time making this. This is Luke 11 and 34. It says, the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thy eye is single, thy whole body, it's like thy whole body also is full of light. When thy eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness. So let me read this again. This is the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thy eye is single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So pretty much saying you gotta, stay on track. Pretty much you gotta keep your eye focused on that good path, right? That good way, and walk therein. Right? Was that Jeremiah? Jeremiah, I believe it's. Let me see. Let me get that. The good way. Jeremiah 6:16. Yep. Let me read this. It says, thus saith the Lord power, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. So this is where you're going to find that rest that you've been desperately seeking after, Jake. This is where you're going to find the kingdom of heaven, by you walking in these ways. Abide in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You see? Staying away from plantation Christianity and Catholicism and all these other wayward doctrines, man. That's going to lead you nowhere but to death. Stop fucking, worshiping all these damn so-called holidays and pretty much just having this love for the world that Jake has. Like, y'all have an unreasonable love for this world. It has been nothing but cruel and evil to you, and yet Jake just, I don't know what's, like, Jake has a, what they call it, like a toxic relationship with this world. Here it is, y'all receive nothing but hell, but yet y'all love it. Like, it's just, it's unreasonable. It's toxic. It makes no sense. Here it is, the Most High showing you true love by bringing you back, showing you the right way, giving you true hope and something you can, something that you can actually like hope for, something good to hope for. But Jake don't want it, man. As it says right there, but they said we would not walk therein. Reading the latter part of verse 16. Let me read this again. Thus saith the Lord power, or the Lord Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we will not walk therein. This is exactly what I said, man. Jay don't want to walk in those paths. Jay don't want to, walk in the good way. Jay thinks the good way is boring. The good way takes too long. Jake wants that instant gratification. Jake is into that. The way Esau has set up this society is like a microwave society. They want everything quick and now. They don't want to work and and patiently wait for any progress or any results, man. But this is why those ultimately that choose this world is gonna perish. Anything that sticks alongside with this world, with this system, is gonna die, and that's all. That's all is gonna be. I mean, that's pretty much the end of it, right? Let me see. Let me go back. Let me read this again. Luke 11:34. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thy eye is single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Right? Keeping your eye focused on the path, man, on the goal. Right? That good way, that good path. But when the eye is evil, thy body is full of darkness. You see? And when your eye is evil is whenever you're looking for this world. You're looking for, you know, you're looking and admiring the ways of this world and trying to partake in it. That's whenever your body becomes full of darkness, man. You see, in verse 35 it says, "Take heed therefore that the light which is in thee be not darkness. If thy whole body be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the bright shining of a candle doth give thee light." Right? You see, and the Most High shined this light upon us, man. He gave us this light so we can navigate through this world. You see, because what do you do with light? You know, when you're someplace that's dark, light allows you to see in front of you, to not fall into those pitfalls, to not fall into these different snares. Jake is falling into snares left and right. Here it is, like it's almost like you see that cartoon, these cartoons with like they laid down a bunch of rat traps, and motherfucker don't know where he's going. He just all you hear is like the snapping of the traps, just motherfuckers over here yelling getting hit, and then fall into a bear trap, get a leg snapped off. Like, man, that's Jake, man. See, but we got this light where the Most High allows us to be able to navigate past all those traps and make it to the end, to receive the kingdom of heaven. That's the ultimate goal, man. Like I said. You see, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I pray this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna go ahead and say, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah.